Hello and welcome to Healthy You. We are talking about improving prenatal health. My name is Mandy Park. I am a childbirth and maternity clinical educator at Millard Fillmore Suburban. We're going to talk about prenatal health. So what is prenatal health? Prenatal health is what's going to help with expectant parents to kind of navigate through this pregnancy and the baby's development and what we can expect for our expecting parents. Why is it important? It is important so that we're making sure that these goals are met, and we are striving to make sure a health of baby and expecting mom is where we need to be. As we move through common prenatal testing that we can look at, and we see a lot in our first prenatal visits, we can have height of the uterus. We want to see how big that uterus is getting. We have measurements that we are going to go along the whole pregnancy. Blood pressure, weight, and urine. We are going to test all of those things at every single visit. We want to make sure that we are addressing any and all concerns that have may or may not come up. Doppler ultrasound is something else we're going to do. We're going to listen to that baby's heart rate. How is this baby's heart rate listened to? And I think that that's probably one of the most exciting things about our prenatal visits is hearing that baby for that first time. And quite frankly, every time after that is quite exciting. Blood work is going to get done too. A lot of the times our physicians are going to send us out for blood work. We are going to get a lot of it done in the beginning. We're just testing to see what your blood type is, any kind of issues that may or may not come up, and get that baseline so we can see how is this baby progressing? How are you doing during this pregnancy? As we keep going, we have more prenatal testing that we can look at. Routine OB ultrasound. A lot of times we're starting this out. Obstetricians may choose to do that right around 6 to 8 weeks. And then we kind of progress through the pregnancy, and it's determined by your obstetrician how many times you will see that ultrasound. Also really cool to get to see that baby and see how that baby's developing and moving around. Cervical length, non-stress test, and biophysical profile are also testing that you may hear about. Usually our non-stress tests and biophysical profile are usually towards the end of the pregnancy, wanting to make sure that this baby is doing well in utero. We can also see nuchal fold translucency. Again, this is another ultrasound. We do this usually between 11 and 13 weeks. And this is something, again, to test how this baby is developing. Our glucose tolerance test, this is a blood test. We do have to drink this lovely orange drink, and then having our blood tested for a series of testing just to see how your blood sugar is doing with that. Usually we can see this done between 26 and 28 weeks gestation. So when we start going to our prenatal visits, they are very individualized. So we are going to have your obstetrician is going to talk to you, discuss different things. What are we expecting? What can we see? How is this going to work out? We are going to start that relationship with our obstetrician to get us through the pregnancy and delivery. So again, this is very individualized, but a lot of times with our uncomplicated pregnancies, you can see OB visits from every 4 weeks or so for the first 24 weeks. Then we move to every 2 weeks from 28 to 36 weeks. And then you can expect to see your OB for the remainder of the pregnancy every week. With that said, again, this is very individualized. Your OB may say, you know, we may need to see you sooner or want to see you sooner. And based on guidelines too, that may change as we move through. Expectations of that first visit or really visits thereafter, we have, again, we're going to do our weight, our blood pressure, urine sample. You can pretty much count on these things being done every single time. We're going to review that history. So your OB is going to ask you about any previous surgeries, any medications you're on, and this includes any over-the-counter medications as well, and any kind of alcohol use, and any kind of drug use as well. We're going to talk about that. We're going to listen to that baby's heart rate. We're going to see that uterine measurement. And then we're going to find out that due date based on last menstrual period. So it is important to kind of know when that first day of your last menstrual cycle is. But if you're not paying attention to that, we're going to help you figure that out too. So foods to avoid during pregnancy. And I think this is kind of huge because I know that this is something that you talk about with your OB. And of course, you're going to want to make sure that you are checking with your OB to discuss nutrition in depth, because there are some things that we do want you to avoid during pregnancy, to include alcohol, smoking, and drugs. This does include THC. We also want to avoid mercury-containing foods such as swordfish, tilefish, mackerel, and shark. Avoid raw, uncooked meats. We're going to look to avoid processed meats, avoid raw sprouts, deli meats, hot dogs, unbaked unpasteurized milk and cider, soft cheeses, uncooked meat, poultry, and sea fish, shellfish. It's supposed to be shellfish, not sea fish. But and then we're going to make sure that we're limiting caffeine intake. And again, we're going to discuss this with our OB to make sure that we have that nutrition and what it's going to kind of look like, because there are some nutrients that we, of course, want to make sure that you're getting, especially in those early stages. A lot of times we can look to see prenatal vitamins be added to our regimen. So we are going to have our OB that is going to talk to us about what prenatal vitamins are going to look like for us, what we need, and just to remember to be cautious about our over-the-counter medications, our herbal medications, and more is not better. So take that recommended dose. And like I said, more is not necessarily better for that as well. So again, herbal medications is kind of huge, because I think that a lot of people aren't thinking that that's going to have a huge impact, but it really does. So we want to make sure that you are on the same page with your OB. So some things to consider when we're bringing home this baby. I know it's kind of hard to think that, because we're thinking, hey, we're just getting pregnant. We're going for our initial visit, but there are some things that we can start doing and start to think about when we're preparing to bring this baby home. 9 months does go by quickly in the grand scheme of things. Home safety. Home safety is something that's huge. We want to make sure that we're checking our smoke detectors, our CO detectors, have some kind of plan that we have the testing just to make sure they're functioning regularly. What to bring to the hospital. There's a lot of things that we need to look at. We need to look at outfits. If we're bringing in outfits, car seats are a huge thing. And I will talk to you about the car seats in a little bit to kind of keep that going. We're going to want to make sure, pillows are a huge thing. Bring your own pillows. We have more that we can talk about and what to bring to the hospital as we move through. So we do offer prenatal education classes at Suburban, and these will help you. We have Prepared Childbirth, which is a 2-week series. We have Birthing Basics, which is a Saturday class. We have Baby Basics, and we have breastfeeding classes. And these will all help you to get prepared for the birthing experience and also for feeding this baby and how we are going to interact with this baby. So one of the things, too, that we're working on at Suburban is our Safe Sleep Initiative that's actually going to roll out shortly. And this is where we are going to have halo swaddlers. We are going to keep these babies swaddled. And we're in a rooming in situation. So we have our babies that are going to be in our rooms with us at least 23 out of the 24 hours of the day. And that helps with bonding with parents and baby. We're going to be able to check on sleeping. We're going to have our feeding cues. We are going to have that bonding experience with baby. At Millard Suburban, you can expect for our labor and delivery experience that we do have a secure locked unit. So you will need to be buzzed in and out of this unit. You do want to make sure that you're checking for our visitation requirements. This is something that, again, you can find on buffalobaby.org to make sure that you see the most up-to-date visitation rules that we do have. So on the mother baby unit, we can expect our postpartum care to continue. We do have lactation consultants on staff that can help you with your breastfeeding experience. And then also we have all of our nurses that are very well equipped to help with that breastfeeding experience as well as taking care of this baby and what to expect. Any and all questions are welcome, of course, with our nurses, and they're going to help to guide you through this experience. It's really a privilege for us to be able to help take care of you in this new experience as parents and welcoming this baby into the world. We do offer also NICU, that if this baby is having a little difficulties transitioning from your womb to the outside, that is something that we have very skilled nurses upstairs as well in the NICU that can help transition this baby and see, what kind of support we can provide for this baby. Also, some things that, I think that really doesn't get talked about a whole lot is postpartum depression, perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. We do offer at Suburban a postpartum support group. So if you do happen to find that you're having any kind of perinatal mood and anxiety disorder, which really can, it used to be an umbrella term of postpartum depression, but we have postpartum depression, postpartum anxiety, panic disorder, OCD, postpartum psychosis. We have a lot of these gamuts that we do discuss, and we will have that support for you. We also have resources available help transition. So if you do find that that is something that you're facing after delivery and even during pregnancy, reach out to us. We will be able to help. And we also want to reach out to your OB. Have that open communication, because really that's a huge component of perinatal mood and anxiety disorders. So for more information that we do have, buffalobaby.org, if you wanted to look into and sign up for any of those classes, we do have pre-registration right on that site too. And you can also find Yomingo. That Yomingo is an app that we have provided that gives a lot of information on what to expect for your pregnancy, your prenatal visits, your birthing experience. It's a really great tool to have if you want to register for Yomingo. Again, that's on buffalobaby.org, and it is an app that you are able to use. The next thing we have is our buffalocarseatclub.org. This is a fantastic site that we have about car seats, because car seats, 80% of our car seats are installed incorrectly. So what this allows is we have... and I shouldn't say we, it's not my site, but it is a site that provides information on where car seat checks are, so we can make sure these car seats are installed correctly. If they are something that's not new, maybe it's a hand-me-down, maybe it's that extra car seat that you have from your niece or nephew, make sure that it's not expired, make sure that it hasn't been in an accident. So those are some of the big things that we have for the car seats. So I just want to thank you for listening today. I appreciate that. If you have any questions, if you just want to go ahead and put those in the chat, and I will get back to you as soon as I can with that. So thank you.